Merci d'être fidèle au programme d'Africanews.
Thank you very much for being on Africanews.
Au nombre de 5, les
Now, there are now 5 individuals close relatives to the Congolese president, Denis Sassou Nguesso, referred to the French judiciary as the case of the improperly acquired property. Edgard Nguesso and Catherine Ignanga, nephew and sister-in-law to Denis Nguesso, respectively, were indicted for laundering of public funds. Now, the indictment, among other things, criticized Edgard Nguesso for the possession of a lavish real estate and a high expenditure of almost 1.3 million euros in 2 years, while Catherine Ignanga was accused of having held a managerial position for a non-existent company for which high-end goods were bought and sold.
I recall to you that in late June this year, the daughter and son-in-law of President Denis Sassou Nguesso, that is Julian Sassou Nguesso, and her husband Guy Johnson, were charged with corruption and were placed under investigation for money laundering and misuse of public funds. And in March, his nephew Wilfred Nguesso was placed under investigation on the same counts. So far, investigations have shown that several tens of millions of euros from public entities in Congo-Brazzaville were reportedly transferred since 2007 to the accounts of various offshore companies based in Seychelles, Mauritius, and even Hong Kong, suspected of partly providing financial aid to some members of the presidential clan.
Voilà, la parole à présent à Jean-Marie Viala.
And, we are now joined by Jean-Marie Viala, the lawyer of the Nguesso family, and he reacts to this indictment from Paris in France.
La famille Sassou Nguesso.
Oui, effectivement, il y a des membres de la famille, pas seulement d'ailleurs, de la famille.
Well, yes, there are members of the family of President Nguesso, and not just, by the way, who have been put under scrutiny logically on complaints that was tabled 10 years ago by Transparency International, and for which we had not been able to intervene on his behalf ever since. In the Sassou family, no one has been indicted. The only person who has been indicted was Mr. Nguema, who I dealt with for the release of his arrest warrant and his hearing via a video conference for his close examination, because a review must be shown to all our viewers and those who are looking at us. A review is not an act of condemnation. An indictment is the possibility for people who are accused by someone else to have access to the file and to know that someone is accusing him, what someone is accusing him of, and of the power to defend himself against his accusers. This is an indictment. In this respect, I have to confirm to you that members of the Nguesso family and others who are caught in the end of this case have not been put under scrutiny, to show well that it is only to get into the procedure. It has no judicial review. There is no bail ever paid to be free. There is no arrest warrant. There is no custody. So you have to stop talking about this nonsense sometimes, because you are not aware of what is going on.
Alors, Maître Jean-Marie Viala, vous dénoncez
la procédure qui a conduit Mr. Viala, you're opposed to the procedure that led to this indictment. Tell us more.
Lorsque nous avons été mis enfin en examen.
Now, when we were under the review, we were finally able to access the files, which is to say that for 10 years, all those who took care of the file could not do it because there was no indictment. So I dealt with it. That was 15 days ago. Until 15 days ago, nothing happened, except for Mr. Theory Obiang. And so I had access to the file, and what I did was to find out by accessing it, even though the complaint that was filed by Transparency International was based on forgery. Transparency was not entitled to file a complaint, so I filed a complaint against Transparency, on the other hand, in an attempt to defraud the judgment. And thanks to the judges for finally examining everyone of the Nguesso family. I was also able to thank the judges, including a request for invalidity of the Constitution on the side of the civil part of Transparency International. And so there is there is more to discuss, whether there was a breach or not, since we are not the French state and no longer colonial state. I hope in any case how they attacked the Congo, Equatorial Guinea or Gabon, it is an association of American origin that attacked France in these countries. That is all. At the onset, madam, enough has not been said. That is why I'm irritated. The French refused the complaint of Transparency International. Today, the complaint thrived only because it was filed before the Dean of Judges, and so it was mandatory that information be open, but this information is open to the basis of complaint.